Hi everyone, I hope you've had a good week. This week you are going to need your activity pack and a pencil because we have some activities in it where you're going to need to kind of draw on the activity pack. You will also find on this week's email that you have some kind of words like this. And these are to help you understand the different musical words that I'm going to be using during our lessons. We've changed them slightly, so we're going to be having one song that we learn each week, and then everything we do in the lesson is going to be to do with that song. So I might talk using some big words like kind of tempo, structure, rhythm, and you've probably heard them before, but just to make sure you know what they mean, I've put together that for you. Okay, so to get started this week, we are going to play a musical game of Can You Guess the Instrument Family? Okay, so in your pack on page 2, you will see that I have put in kind of this picture, and those of you that were with us back in February will have seen this before. I've got a bigger one here that you'll recognise. Okay, and basically it just shows us what all the different instruments are in what we call a Western orchestra. So this is where there's lots and lots of instruments together, and they all play together to play big pieces of music. So things like the violins, we've got viola, cello, and you'll see that they're in the purple block, and that is called the string family. Okay, and then we've got the woodwind family, the blue, behind them, and that is your flutes, your oboes, your bassoons. And then we've got yellow, which is the brass section. You can see that here, it shows us at the bottom. And the green that goes all the way around the back, that's the percussion. And you can see that we have the piano hidden in there, and that is percussion. That's part of the tuned percussion, where they can play more than one note. So things like the glockenspiel and the xylophone are tuned percussion as well. And then you'll have your untuned percussion, which are things like your drum, your cymbal and your triangle, where they can only play one note. Okay, so you might want to keep that picture nearby, because I'm going to hold up some pictures of instruments, and I would like you to guess which instrument family they belong in. Okay, so I'll hold up the picture and you'll see that it has the name of the instrument above it. So this is the recorder. Okay, try and guess which family that belongs in. We've got the sousaphone, glockenspiel, we've already mentioned. Okay, got the violin. Oh, got a bit of a reflection. There we go, violin. We've got cabasa, got clarinet. Yep. We've got a bassoon. We've got oboe. We've got piano. Let's try and get that so it's not shining as much. Piano. We've got trumpet. We've got electric bass guitar. And then we have the kettle drums. Okay, so make sure you watch all the way to the end of this week's lesson video to get the answers. Okay, moving on to our singing activity, which you'll find on page 3 of your activity pack this week. And now you might recognise that, and it might seem like a really strange choice with it being so easy, but this is the song that we're going to kind of focus on this week, learning about different things. Okay, so I thought we'd keep it nice and easy and keep it as a chant. So I know some of you might know it as a song, and that's great. If you want to sing it, that's absolutely fine, but I thought we'd keep it nice and easy, and we're just going to say it. So it goes, jelly on a plate, jelly on a plate, wibble wobble, jelly on a plate. Okay, so if you want to practice that, I'm going to play it again and I'm going to put a tune underneath with the piano. Okay, so have a listen and have a go at saying the rhyme. Jelly on a plate, jelly on a plate. Wibble wobble, jelly on a plate. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our rhythm and beat activity, which you'll find on page 4 of your activity pack this week. And we're going to use the same words from that song. So you'll see why we've done it as a chant and not a song. Okay, and I've kind of split it up a little bit and you'll see why in a little bit. Okay, so what we're going to be doing, we're going to be first thinking about what we call beat or pulse. So in your email, those little flashcards that I was talking about, it will tell you what those words mean. Okay, so let's have a look. So for beat, it says it's the basic unit of time within music. Now that might sound a bit confusing, and I quite like to think of it as the pulse. Okay, and that's basically the steady beat of the music, and that is what you may think that you want to tap your foot, so stamp your foot in time, or clap your hands along to. So first we're going to start off with that. So when we say jelly on a plate, we want to go jelly on a plate. So it's jelly on a plate. Okay. So what we're going to do on our in our activity packs rather, we are going to write a little heart, draw a little heart every time there is a beat that we want to clap along to. So if I hold this up here, we're going to write it above the word. So we're going to put one above jelly, because we clap on jelly. Now we don't clap on the lee of jelly. We don't go jelly. We go jelly on a plate. So we're going to draw a heart over on, and we're going to draw a heart over plate. Okay. So now, before we go on to the next line, it doesn't just run straight into it. We pause and we take a breath. So we go jelly on a plate, jelly on a plate. Okay, so there's actually what we call a rest here. So what we're going to do, we're just going to squiggle like a Z, or you might know it as a Z for phonics. And there is actually a beat over the rest. Now it's really good practice just to take a breath in so you don't make a sound when there's a rest. Okay, and then it's exactly the same on the next line. So it's going to be jelly on and then plate. Okay, and again there is a rest where there's a beat. Okay, so we're just going to practice and check that you've got those hearts in the right place. So we're going to go jelly on a plate, jelly on a plate. Okay, fantastic. So moving on, we're going to do wibble wobble, wibble wobble. Okay, so it goes wibble wobble, wibble wobble. Okay, so just on the first part of each word, so we're going to put one there and another heart here, and over wib of wibble and wob of wobble. So it's going to look something like that. And then the last line is exactly the same as the first two. So we've got one over gel, on, plate, and then we're going to draw in that rest, and there's one over the gap. Okay, so we're going to practice doing it again. We're going to clap along. So we're going to go jelly on a plate, jelly on a plate. Wibble, wobble, wibble, wobble, jelly on a plate. Okay, fantastic. If you need to go a little bit slower, you can. Just pause the video and then just take it in at your own speed. Okay, so moving on, we're going to have a look at rhythm, the rhythm of it now. So if you go back to this, it tells you what it is. But again, it's a little bit confusing the way they've worded it. So it says combinations of long and short sounds to convey the movement. Okay, so when we're clapping it, if we're going jelly on a plate. Okay, so jelly is quite a quick word. Okay, so we're going to go through and we're going to mark the rhythm now. Okay, so we know plate is quite a long word, so we're just going to put a line. Okay, jelly is a quick word and there's two sounds, so it's going to go jelly, so 2 lines, but we're actually going to join them across the top. And that just shows that those 2 sounds are within the 1 beat. Okay, so this might be a little bit confusing, so I'm just going to square that off. And that's 1 beat. Okay, same with honour, there's 2 words before the next beat. So if we separate that off and do on, and then join them across the middle. Okay, plate is all by itself before the next heartbeat, so that just has a line, and then the rest at the end where there's no word is all by itself as well. So we just leave that blank. Okay, or you can put another little Z underneath it for a rest. Okay, looks like somebody's sleeping now. Okay, so we can see that in between claps we need to do 2 sounds. 2 sounds, 1 sound, and then no sound. Okay, so when we're kind of speaking about the rhythm, it's easy to give them names. Okay, so 1 sound all by itself is ta. Okay, and then 2 sounds, tete. Okay, and then tete, just like that. And then we do nothing on the end. Okay, moving on to jelly, we're going to separate this again. So in between heartbeats, we're going to just draw a box, just because it makes it easier. And same as above, got the 2 lines, we've got 2 sounds, and we're going to join them. Same with on a, it's 2 sounds, we're going to join them. And plate is on its own again. So that's just 1, and then we've got nothing on the end. Okay, so again it's tete, tete, ta, and then nothing. Okay, so what we can do before we go any further, we can say it using the sound name. So instead of using the word jelly on a plate, we're going to go tete, tete, ta. Tete, tete, ta. And you can hear the rhythm for jelly on a plate. Jelly on a plate. Okay, so moving on to the wibble wobble section. Okay, this is a little bit easier because you can see that there's going to be 2 sounds in between each beat. Okay, so I don't know if you can remember if that is written like that or just 1 like that. Okay, it's 2, so it's the 2 lines joined, and that is tete. Okay, so it's the same all the way along on this one. Tete, tete. Oops. Tete. Tete. And then we're back to jelly on a plate, which is the same as the first 2 lines. Ooh, I've not drawn my hearts in a very good place. Okay. Oops. Let me just rub that out. I've not left enough space to draw underneath. Okay, so you can see there that it is exactly the same as the top. So we've got tete, tete, ta, and then nothing. Okay, so if we were to go through the whole song, just saying the rhythms, we should recognize the rhythms from the words. So it goes tete, tete, ta, tete, tete, ta, tete, 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 ta. Okay, and if we go through one more time with the jelly on the plate words, you'll recognize it's exactly the same rhythm. So it goes jelly on a plate, jelly on a plate, wibble wobble, wibble wobble, jelly on a plate. Okay, you can hear it's exactly the same. Okay, so if you want to go through that all again, by all means pause the video, rewind and go through it a few times. Our instrument of the week this week is the piano, and we've already had a look at some pictures, and we said that it was an untuned percussion instrument. Okay, so in your pack you have on page 5 kind of a little activity page to do. We've got a picture of an upright piano, which is like the one that I have here. So can you see it? Okay, and then we have a picture of a grand piano. Okay, these are the ones that they use in kind of big concert halls. Okay, and underneath you can see there's a little table, and it says what is the same and what is different. So have a look at the pictures. You can have a look online as well. If you have an adult to help you, you can have a look on Google and see if it can come up with some ideas for you. And then just anything else that you already know about pianos. So like we said, it's an untuned piano percussion instrument. Okay, that could be one of the things you know. You will spot on both pictures, I'll give you a clue for a similarity, that it has these all the way along it. Okay, these are called the keys, and they are black, so black ones that are grouped in 2s and 3s, and then there's white ones, or these are cream white keys, so they are called white keys and black keys, and when you press them they make a sound. Okay, and what happens on the inside of the piano, there's a little hammer that is hitting the string. Okay, so what I'll do, I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to open up the piano to see if we can see inside. Okay, so it's quite dusty inside the piano, but you can see that there are these kind of felted hammers and these strings at the back, and when I press a key, you can see that it moves one of those hammers, that one there, and it hits those strings and makes them vibrate, and that's what makes the noise. On a piano, you can see that the keys alternate, the black keys alternate between 2 together and 3 together. So just looking at the piano, you can see it going 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. Okay, and then 2. And this one at the end, at the top end, this is where the high notes are. You can see it goes 2, 2. Well, actually, if the piano kept going, there would be another black key here, so it would be 3. And likewise, ooh, make everyone feel dizzy going back down the piano. Likewise, you can see it goes 3, 2, 1. Well, if the piano kept going lower and lower, there'd be another 2 keys here, and it'd be 3. Okay, so on page 6 of your activity pack, you can see that there is a question about how many groups of 2 black keys are there on your piano. So we're going to count. Okay, so we've got 1, that's 1, 2, 2 twos, 3, 4, got 5, 6, and then 7. And we're not going to count that one because that would be a group of 3. So the answer in your activity book here would be 7. Okay, so now it says how many groups of 3 black keys are there on your piano, and you can see that it shows us where there's 3 black keys together. So let's have a look. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and that's not quite a 3. So on your book here, you need to write a 6. Okay, so we've been counting how many groups of 2 black keys and 3 black keys there are on the piano. So the next page of your activity book, page 7, asks you to circle around the patterns where there are 3 black keys and put a triangle around the ones where there are only 2 black keys together. So I'm going to help and get you started. So you're going to need your pencil again. Okay, so you can see down here there are 1, 2 black keys. So I need to draw a triangle. Okay, we're going to spot one where there are 3 grouped together. So we've got one over here where it goes 1, 2, 3, and we need to put a circle around. Okay, I'm going to leave you to do the rest of that sheet because I don't want to give you all the answers, and I want to see how well you can do and work out how many kind of black keys are grouped together. It's a nice, easy activity, so it shouldn't take you too long. So hit pause on this video and then come back when you are ready. Here we are, and the last activity of the week, and this is called the Create Your Own activity. And this week you are going to create your own verses for the Jelly on the Plate song. Okay, so on page 8 of your activity pack, you have some pictures like this to help you. And what I've done is I've written an example for you at the bottom, and I have used the rhythm that we were practicing earlier to help me write the song. So you will remember, if you get your page 4 of your activity pack, that we've written out those rhythms with tetes and tas, and making sure that we have a silent bit of rest where there's no noise. So I've written pizza in the fridge, pizza in the fridge. Yummy, yummy, in my tummy, pizza in the fridge. Okay, so if you go through it, you can hear the tete, tete, ta, tete, tete, ta, tete, 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 ta. Okay, so you could do any combination for yours. So you need to pick a picture off the top row, and then a picture off the bottom row, and put them together to make your verse, and you'll have to come up with something different kind of as your kind of extra line in the song. So I came up with yummy yummy in my tummy, but you could come up with anything. So you could do cupcake and car, so you could say cupcake in the car, or you could do ice cream in the bowl, or you could do apple in the jar. You could do anything. You could do apple in the fridge. It's up to you. And you have space on page 9 of your activity pack to write out your rhyme, and I'd like you to practice it and say it out and kind of tap out that beat, the pulse that we were practicing where we've marked with the hearts on our book, and the rhythm, so saying it, make sure it fits with the tete-tete-ta pattern, okay, and then come up with your own verse to this song. Okay, and if you want, and you want to write more verses, there's extra space at the bottom, and if you come up with 2 or 3 verses for the song, you could practice them and say them to your family and see if you can get your family to clap along to the beat. So remembering that pulse, that steady rhythm that you want to stamp your foot or clap along to, and see if you can teach them how to do it. Okay, I hope you have enjoyed this week's lesson. Here are the answers for our Guess the Instrument family game we played right at the start. So instead of going through them one at a time, I'm going to show you in the groups of their instrument families. Okay, so I'm going to start off with woodwind. Okay, so these are instruments that you blow into. Okay, so we've got recorder, we've got the clarinet, we've got the bassoon, and we had the oboe. Okay, so those were all the woodwind instruments we had today. Okay, then I'm going to show you the string family. So these ones are fairly easy, as you can see that they have the strings on them that you can pluck, you can strum, or you can bow. So we've got the violin and the electric bass guitar. You can see the strings on that one as well. Okay, then we've got the brass family. Okay, so again, these are instruments that you blow, but they're made of kind of metal brass. So we have the trumpet, okay, and you can see the valves on the top that you press down to change the note. And then this really big one that is a sousaphone. Okay, so remember from the start of lockdown when that was our instrument of the week. Okay, so you can always go back through and have a look at the videos, links for the YouTube videos I added to your activities way back then. Okay, then finally we've got our percussion. So I'm going to start with the untuned percussion, which is the cabasa. So that you roll over your hand and it makes a scrapey noise. Okay, then we've got our tuned percussion. So a nice easy one that we've already mentioned. We've got the piano, and we've got the glockenspiel. And now this one is a bit confusing because it's a kettle drum, but it only plays one note, but it can actually be tuned to play a specific note. So when we get into that a bit more, that'll make a bit more sense, but you can change whether it plays a really low note or just kind of a middle note. Okay, well done, and I hope you have a fantastic week.